Hi, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Latil Shehri. I'm the youngest Saudi podcaster and founder of Latil Alpha Talk. And yes, curiosity is the reason I'm here today. Because honestly, I always think that sticking to what you already know is so boring. And like curiosity just pushes us outside of our comfort zone. And when we're curious, we push ourselves to explore new ideas, to spread creativity, and to challenge the status quo. And it's how we grow and how we explore and how we lead in ways we never imagined. I know our endless questions might seem overwhelming sometimes, but actually, they're a superpower. And every one of us has the right to be curious. It all begins with just one good question, the courage to ask why. That's why I believe curiosity is power.
Nice. Very well said, Ratil. Now, you have already started to lead at such a young age, which is truly inspiring, to be honest. Now, before we dive into your journey in the podcasting world, I would love to invite our audience again to participate. Now, can you drop one word in the chat that comes to your mind when you think of podcasts? Again, people attending online, can you drop one word in the chat that comes to your mind when you think of podcasts? Muhammad says interesting. As Lara says inspiring or curious, inspiring, sharing ideas. Well, no says knowledge. Asma says chatting. Salma says knowledge. Wala says stories, motivation and sharing, entertainment, knowledge, conversation. Wow, a lot of thoughts about podcasts here, I must say. All right, nice. Someone said Ratil. That's what they come. What comes to their mind when they think about podcasts. Okay, nice. This is a nice one. So now, Ratil, back to you. Can you tell us about your own podcast journey and how it all happened?
Yeah, of course. It all started back in the online days during Corona. I used to go, my mom worked at university. I used to go there to take my online classes. And during my breaks, I was always so curious about like what the students like, what they were taking in the university and what the students were doing. And one day I was wandering around and I saw a woman from an agency. She was doing a casting call. And I was so curious. I was asking her so many questions until she finally said, okay, let me just take a shot of you. I was like, oh my gosh, Shay, I'm so excited. It's the first time I try this. And I just forgot to tell my mom. So then my mom receives a call from the lady and saying I've been chosen for a big ad. And she was so shocked. She was like, Hetty, how did they even get my number? I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you. And from that moment, I kept asking my mom, Mama, please, I want to try. This is something new. And she agreed that I would try, but she said it's on my free time because I have school and everything. So after that, I started doing more ads and short films, but then I quickly realized that the roles offered to the kids like me were really limited and I didn't connect with the content. And if they gave me something, it was just like a 2 second clip of me licking ice cream or me just running. It wasn't like, and when I would talk to the directors, I'd be like, oh, can I do this or can I speak? They're like, oh, you're still young when you grow up. And I told my mom, Mom, I want to create something more relatable. She was like, she was finding like, someone to sponsor me for my show because that's usually how it works. There's a sponsor for your
Mm,
show. But they all said the ideas are great and they liked what I was like doing, but I was too young and I have to be over 18 and I have to be an adult. And it made me wonder, how do you expect an 11 or 12-year-old to be creative if you don't give them a chance? And that's where I started looking for a way to, share content in my own terms. Podcast turned to be a perfect way for me because you didn't need some fancy equipment. All you need is your voice, a phone, and ideas. It's simple
mm,
and real and powerful. I even wrote short scripts to promote my podcast or like filmed a little video. And thanks to my own investment, when I started posting it, it went a bit like, viral. And every episode became a challenge for me and a story of my own. So my first ever podcast was actually not a human. It was actually an AI co-host. And my mom was like, oh my God, Latil, are you replacing yourself already? But I saw it differently than her. I had a different perspective, and I thought that AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to assist us. Assist us. It just depends on how you use it. So behind the scenes, it's not always glamorous or exciting. Yani, I was recording in my room. Me and my mom and my siblings would interrupt, and they'd be screaming and fighting. You know how siblings are. And I'd had to retake, and I'd like also close the AC because it would make noise in the video, and I'd be like so hot. I'd be like, oh my god, while I was recording. But the first step is always the hardest. It's normal for your first steps to not be easy. And my first steps was definitely not easy, but here I am now. Now I have a camera crew and editors that help me with my podcast. So it just shows that the first step and the last step, how the difference is. So I've learned to forget about production and just focus on continuous improvement. The magic isn't always the final project. It's just about the adventure itself and the experience. So that's how the Teal Alpha Talk became a platform where our generation's questions can finally be heard and answered. No more mind your business.
Very interesting. This is very interesting. I would like to say, like, someone is saying, I love you, Ratil. And Omar said, creativity is the real key for success, which is
I
amazing.
agree.
Yeah, and this shows you that you never know what you will get unless you ask, right? So when you asked the lady that was casting and she gave you the opportunity, and it all led to this moment, right? So you never know. If you think you can ask, ask. Now, a lot of students here might wonder, how did curiosity help you build confidence? Ratil, this is my question to you now. How
Hmm.
did curiosity help you build confidence? Because you're very confident. It's very obvious at the moment.
How did curiosity help you build confidence? I feel like curiosity helped me build confidence because like it always pushed me to try new things that I've never done before. Like for example, starting my podcast, I had no idea how it would turn, but I was curious enough to give it a try. So that's the important part. So every time I followed my curiosity, I learned something new and I proved to myself that I could do it. And the more I tried, the more confident I became. And for me, confidence isn't about, you know, like me being scared to do something. It's about being confident enough to try it. So also confidence is about self-care, surrounding myself with support and positive people, and just focusing on my strengths. And here's a really good tip I use: fake it till you
Mm.
make it. Even if you don't feel confident, just act it until you do. Because like for me, sometimes I don't feel my best or I don't feel confident. I just act it until here I am now. I am actually confident. So it's proof that it works. And something like as simple as making eye contact can change the way people see you and eventually the way you see yourself. So that's my little like tip I'd give people.
Nice. I do agree with this, and this is powerful, Ratil. I would say you're dropping too many gems today. Uh, but let's get real. Everyone here has felt self doubt, right? Even me. How do you deal with those moments? How do you deal with the moments of self doubt?
I deal with self-doubt all the time. It's normal. I feel like every person has dealt with it. And sometimes I wonder, oh, am I good enough? Will anyone ever listen? I like always have these thoughts in my head, but I remind myself why I started. To
Mm.
me, even if one person feels less alone because of something I said, then to me it's worth it because I've also learned not to fight self-doubt. It's okay to have moments of doubt. Life has ups and downs because it's never gonna really go away. No matter what you do, there isn't like a magic trick that makes it go away. It's a normal human emotion. I just focus on my purpose and that's what matters. Is just staying open to change and growth. That's the most important thing ever.
Well, that's a relief to hear. I was like, maybe it's only me. I just wanted to check. It's the same with you. Now, I want to talk about digital well being. Nowadays, we are online a lot. Ratil, how do you balance tech with real life? How do you balance tech with real life, Ratil?
I think that's a good question. I think technology is the best tool of our century, and my generation, they don't know a world without it. We've always been born into, technologies and phones and social media. But I feel like too much screen time can really drain you. And I'm not just saying this because, my mom is here and she's telling me to say this, but generally, like, as a person who's been born to the generation with screen time, if you use too much, like your dopamine, can be so high, and you actually just feel so draining. And then when you close the phone, like, when you feel so dizzy and everything's that's always happens to me whenever I use too much screen time. And my mom always reminds me this, Ritil, use social media. Don't let social media use you. And that way my phone doesn't control me, I control it. And I promise, guys, I'm saying this because it actually works. I'm not just here to, like, be like your mom or something. And to keep that balance, I make a schedule for everything, like school, sports, even like self-care. That helps make sure my time goes to the things that really matter. So that's how, I don't let technology, get it too much in the way.
Nice. It's amazing when our parents are supporting us. I mean, I'm hats off to your mom for real, Ratil. Finally, I want to talk about purpose. Many of our students, they feel like, and you hear them saying, "I don't know my purpose yet. I don't know my purpose yet." What would you say to them, Ratil? What do you want to say to those students, young people?
What I would say to them is that's totally normal and that's okay. You don't have to know your purpose. You're not born with it. It just doesn't appear one day. It grows with us. And curiosity is always the starting point. Like for me, where I started, curiosity, as I said in the beginning. So if you love a hobby, read more about it, practice it, be curious in it. And if you still don't know what you love, that's completely normal and fine too. Just keep trying, keep trying different things until something sparks your interest. It will show. Like, don't worry, everyone has a thing they like. It's not like you're the only person in this whole planet that doesn't have like not one thing that they like. And over time, your purpose will start to reveal itself. So one of my favorite quotes is live each day like you want to be remembered tomorrow. So keep asking yourself, what do I want to be remembered for? That's where real purpose begins.
Amazing, Ratil. Okay, now it's time to have people in the chat participate. I feel like we haven't given them a chance, like in few minutes. So get ready, everyone attending online. We were going to put your curiosity into action. Now, tell us what's something you're curious about right now, or complete the sentence. I am leading with curiosity when I. So you have two options. You can answer one of them. What is something you're curious about right now? Or complete the following sentence. I am leading with curiosity when I. Let me repeat this one for one more time just to make sure everyone is with us. What's something you're curious about right now? Or complete the sentence. I am leading with curiosity when I. Chat, chat, chat. Come on. Oh, we need responses. I'm curious about the purpose of life, Sarah. It's an amazing response. I'm curious about small businesses. How to overcome self doubt. Yeah, we're trying to answer this at the moment. All right. How will the future be when I grow up? That's a question we do ask ourselves a lot. Can you repeat the question? Someone is saying. Okay, I'll repeat it again. What is something you're curious about right now? Or complete the sentence. I am leading with curiosity when I make. Okay, I'm curious about a lot of things. Okay, so the future thing is a common theme. I'm curious about my future. Nice. I'm curious about podcast and my future. Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Say let's move on. Ratil, I want to ask you, what do you feel about the responses we are getting right now? Future has been mentioned a bunch of times, so people
Yeah.
are thinking about their future a lot.
I honestly am loving the responses. Like some of them are, surprising and nice and common future. Everyone's curious about their future, and that's amazing. That's an amazing part of curiosity. It's so different for each of us, but it always opens doors. And for me, I'm leading with curiosity when I try something that scares me a little bit, because that's when I feel like I learned the most.
Okay, that's nice. Now we want to move into the Q&A section, but before we go, People are still saying I'm curious. Okay, so I want to move to the Q&A, and we will have some questions for Ratil. So on your screen at the top, all of those people who are attending, at the top left of your screen, you will find a Q&A tab. It says Q&A, right? Please submit your questions there, and we will answer a selection of them. And please make sure you are using a laptop, as the Q&A function works best on laptops rather than phones. Everyone, submit your questions on the Q&A tab at the top. It's on the left side, right? All right, let's see. Let's wait for some of the questions. All right, so mm, right, let's wait for people to submit their questions. Okay, we're having a few questions now. All right. Uh, so Nov said, if you could design your dream curious classroom, what would it have? That's okay. If you could design your dream curious classroom, what would it have? Do you want me to repeat the question, or is it clear?
No, it's
Something from your
clear.
dreams, I guess.
Yeah. If I could have my dream curious classroom, in my classroom, raising your hand would be less important than raising new ideas. And the only thing you'd actually get in trouble for is not asking enough of questions. And what else? Curiosity would be the rule, and honestly, I think the only homework, because I don't think we like homework. And there would definitely be no boring rows of desks because, like, let's be honest. Okay, we want to get inspired and more curious. Whoever gets inspired by staring at the back of someone's head, so we won't do those boring rows. Instead, we'd have cozy corners, for brainstorming, flexible seating for homeworks, and even, walls you're allowed to draw on, because come on, guys, don't waste papers. And I feel like lessons would definitely be more like conversation like than lectures, because like we don't like lectures. My mom always gives me lectures and I don't like them at all. Um, oh, we'd explore our own projects and, tackle real life problems, debating, experimenting, and even maybe fail a little bit because, failing is a part of learning. And every student wouldn't be just a listener, they'd be a part of the adventure. And I think I'm kind of inspired to start my own school. So I think I'm ready to enroll.
Nice. So this is a very the classroom of the dreams, I guess. I wanna join your school and classroom as well. We have other questions as well. I think we have time to answer. So, how do you turn curiosity into action as you did with your podcast? This is from T. Abdullah. How do you turn curiosity into action as you
Mhm.
did with your podcast? How do you turn curiosity into action as you did with your podcast?
How did I turn curiosity into action? Curiosity is that what if, but the real magic happens when you move from just thinking to actually doing. It's like the difference between watching TikTok on how to bake a cake and then actually baking one yourself. First, turn a question into a quest. So
Mm,
instead of asking, oh, how did they make music like that? Turn it into a goal. I'm gonna learn the first three chords on guitar, for example. Or
mm,
I'll try a free app that mix beats, something like that. A mini quest. It doesn't need to be like full on dedication the first time. So then start small. Don't aim to create the big app in one day if you're curious about design. Just spend, a couple of minutes, 10 to 15 minutes playing with a free tool like Canva, and one step is all it takes to begin. Once you start that one step, you'll feel more motivated to keep on going, and then you'll reach step one to, achieving the goal. And also, the most important thing Trust me, guys, so many people forget this. Forget about perfection. Perfection, like if you keep focusing about it too much, you'll be stuck in route one. You'll mess up at first. That's so normal. I also did. And
Mm,
nobody is going to do great on their first try. The point is to learn and enjoy it, not to be perfect all the time. I know we all like to be perfect, but that doesn't exist, especially on your first try. And the
mm.
only real mistake is not trying at all. So the next time you feel curious, pick one tiny thing you can do right and just explore it. And that's how curiosity turns into action. Just don't wait because so many people dream of success, but so many little people make it happen. So be a part of the people that makes it happen. So that's exactly what happened with me. I started my podcast, had nothing fancy, just very simple tools. But the first step I took, and now I have a team, and we're still working to make it bigger, of course. And that all started with curiosity and action.
Amazing answer. I think we can take one or two more questions. One more question. Again, another question. What if people don't take me seriously when I share my ideas? What if people don't take me seriously when I share my ideas?
Yeah, when you're curious, you have an idea. It can be tough because, like, when you share it, like, you're worried about what others will think, or, oh, will they like what I'm thinking, or what if it's stupid? What if I'm overthinking this? This happens to everyone. Also to me, like, I also get scared in the beginning. But, guys, let me give you like three tips at least. Number one, the most important, focus on your passion, not the reaction, because your ideas matter. And even if others don't see it, that's their own problem. The most successful people face doubts too and persistent wins. Like for example, let's use an example. Football players. Obviously, let's use like an example. Ronaldo, he used to, clean the streets and he didn't discover his passions. That's how people start. And when he would tell people he would take it seriously, no one really like takes him seriously. Like it's so normal. That's just a part of it. But when you actually, put passion into it and focus into it, like it's all gonna go well. So just ignore what people think, just ignore their reaction. And secondly, find your people. You're like some people will be so supportive. Like for me, for my mom, she was so encouragement, like she was encouraging and she helped me with my podcast. She filmed with me, and some moms wouldn't allow it. So I found my people and my friends and my family. They were all really proud of me. So their encouragement makes it easier to face negativity. And third of all,
Mm,
back it with action. Don't just say you have an idea, show them that you're working on it. Like maybe if you say, oh, I have an idea, they're gonna make, oh, yeah, what's your idea? If you say, oh, I have an idea, and you show them, oh, yeah, this is the script I'm working on, this is the idea, this is this, they're gonna more likely to believe it and they won't react the way they do. And even if they do react, that's normal. Not everyone will agree with what you're saying.
nice. I think we have time, so we are going to try other questions. There's one that have been voted. It says, how to stay consistent in something. How to stay consistent in something off the top of your head. How do you
Mm.
normally stay consistent in something that you're doing?
Honestly, for me, I feel like there's a lot of people that start a hobby or they start something and then they stop and they're not consistent. Like for me, I used to do gymnastics for like 2 months and I stopped doing it. I wasn't consistent. A lot of things I wasn't consistent with. And I feel like consistency isn't, you don't keep on being consistent if you don't have a routine for it. For example, if you want to stay consistent with something, have a routine, plan it out. Because when you plan it out, you feel like you're used to it and then you just start on doing it more. Like, for example, gymnastics. The reason I wasn't consistent with it is because I didn't have a routine for it. I would just go whenever I feel
Mm.
like it. But for example, podcasts, okay, every time I have a schedule. Once I'm done with my break after school, I have, okay, I see, I research, what do I want my next podcast to be about? So, it could be a weekly thing. Every week I think about what I want to do. So just planning it is, the best way on how to stay consistent.
That's nice. I think because time is passing by, let's move on to our next activity, which is the emoji activity. This is a fun one. These are the five Cambridge Learn attributes with emojis. They will be shared in the chat now. Confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, engaged. So these are the five Cambridge attributes: confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged. Now, everyone attending online, go to the chat, right? Drop the one that describes you today, and then tell us which one do you want to grow in this year. You can you can just copy it from the comment and then paste whichever one describes you today, and then which one do you want to grow in a year, right? Omar says all, Farida says innovative, Ahmed engaged, Summer innovative, Ital wants to be more innovative in a year. Some people want to be all. Nice. All specially confident. Hazem says responsible. S. Hazem says responsible. Mahmoud says reflective. Nice. Summer, I would like to be with the emoji of reflective. Responsible. Sorry. Yeah. Nice. Fatima want to be innovative. Mariam is saying all of them inspires me to do it. Alorine wants to be reflective. Farida wants to do all of them. Nice. Again, Mariam wants to be confident. Lana says all as well. Someone says I want to be like Ratil, which is
Oh,
amazing. Eliza says she wants to be responsible. Fatima, Mariam says confident. Nice. Oh, Lana wants to be okay. Farida says like Ratil, I love her. I want to always be curious too, says Sarah. Okay, good. Sad, innovative. I want to take my time here because I want to see what people want to become and what they feel like they are at the moment. Rodina says confident. Farida, she's amazing. She's talking about Ratil. Right, amazing. Good. Now, I want to go back to you, Ratil, and ask the same question, right? Can
okay.
you tell me which attribute describes you today and which one do you want to grow this year? Because many people are saying, I want to be like Ratil, so they still don't know what, what you have chosen or what you want to choose, right? So, can you tell us which attribute describes you today and which one do you
Mm,
want to grow this year?
I'd say that today I feel reflective because sharing my story makes me think about how far I've came and what I've achieved and what I've learned along the way. But I also want to grow innovative because I'm always looking for new like creative ways to inspire youth and to bring fresh ideas to life. So I think that's
Nice.
yeah, reflective and
So,
innovative.
so for those who said, I want to be like Ratil, Ratil wants to be reflective today, right? And she wants to grow in being innovative, right?
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing to grow in innovation and thinking about innovation. That's amazing. You know, uh, today reminded me of something powerful, right? Curiosity isn't just about asking questions, it's about daring to explore the answers. From hearing Artil's journey today in the podcasting world, we see that curiosity can grow into confidence, purpose, and even leadership. So, as we are finalizing our session and as you log off today, I would ask you to carry one question with you. What might change if I stay curious this week? That's how movement starts, not with all the answers, but with one brave question. Before we go into the finale, I have another question for you, Ratil. This is my own personal question, right? What's a personal challenge you faced recently and what did it teach you? What's a personal challenge you faced recently and did it teach you something?
Hmm. A personal challenge.
Yeah, it could be It could be with your friends. It could be
Yeah.
something that happened today.
For me, a personal challenge, like, that's, let me think.
Think.
I'd say that, as I said, like when I was starting all of this, like when I was starting my podcast, I would have like some thoughts to myself. I'd be like, why are the adults not taking my generation seriously? Why aren't they not involving us in decisions? Because at the end of the day, our generation, we're the future. We're gonna be the future doctors, the lawyers, the next teachers, the everything. And I just, a personal challenge I've got, like I've had a lot of struggles and hard times while, going through this because,
Mm,
like some adults would be like, "Oh, Ritia, just focus on school. Like you have your life still." And I
mm,
just always think to myself, why wouldn't they understand? Like maybe they don't think we're smart enough, but that's not the case because our generations were exposed to so much screen time, and we're connected all over the world because of technology. We're literally born into it. So I thought this is a personal struggle. I'm gonna prove them wrong. I started my podcast. I've done speeches. I've met so many amazing, like, people from different generations that say, like, I wish more people were like you. And I think my generation, all of them, they're saying, Aditya, I want to be like you. I think everyone can be better than me because everyone is special in their own way. Each one has their own passions, each one everything. The only thing that they're not doing than me is I just found my passion until before them, but that doesn't make me any better. I just want my generation to be the best, and I want to prove to the people that said I couldn't do it and I'm too young that age is just a number, and it doesn't limit us from anything. There is no rule in the book that says if you're under 18 you can't do this and that. If you're young and you're doing this that and doing this from a young age, that just means how powerful you are and the message you're sharing. So I honestly think this is a struggle I've been through, and I'm trying to face it currently, and I can do it with the help of people from my generation. So that's honestly the struggle I've faced with.
That's amazing. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like I wish Ratil was my friend back in the days. I mean, your friends they must be very lucky. Like if they have a friend like you, obviously I'm thinking you'll be giving them all of these ideas. Like right, you're not keeping it for your own self. So that's amazing. I want to ask you one more question again from me. That's personally from me. Who has been your biggest supporter? Because this is a big thing for me, and I always ask people like, who has been your biggest supporter in your life,
Yeah.
and how have they shaped your journey? That's my
Of
question to you.
course, yeah. Of course, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the supporter. The supporter is obviously my mom because I feel like, yeah, I got this idea myself and I thought this myself, but a 12 to 11-year-old girl can't do all of this on her own with no support at all. So my mom, she helped me find the support. So when I came up to her with the idea that I wanted a podcast, she helped me, find someone, even if no one sponsored me, the effort she put. And whenever I have like an idea or, oh mom, I want this guest on my podcast, she'd always help me reach out to them. And she would always help me balance my schedule because she knows, yeah, school is important, and it's not, I'm not like taking time out of my school to do this. Obviously I'm balancing both, but my mom, she helps me find time out of my school life for me to achieve this and make all of this happen. So I just want to thank my mom. She's sitting here. Hi mama. And I just want to thank her, and because she helped me. Also my dad, he's been really supportive, and my parents, without them I wouldn't be doing all of this. I wouldn't be here in this call, in this meeting with you guys. So just, they've been my biggest supporters.
Nice shout out to all of the moms around the world, and to all of the moms for everyone attending, and to our moms as well. uh, I want to have the final message from you, Ratil. What's your final message to us?
My final message: first, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my journey today. I thank you to everyone who is joining. I appreciate it, and taking the time out of your day. This is my message: always lead with curiosity and passion. The world needs fresh ideas, and the only way we'll ever find them is by daring to ask questions and explore the unknown. Your voice and your ideas matter, so believe in them and don't be afraid to share them. You are never ever too young to lead or too small to make an impact. And if you ever doubt that, remember this: if you ever think that you're too small to make a difference, Try sleeping with a mosquito. Even the tiniest action can create a huge impact. It's one tiny mosquito, but it can have like such a huge effect. It's actually one of the deadliest animals, and you know how you're always scratching your hand. So just think of that example. It's the same with curiosity. Sometimes one small question can change everything. So if I didn't ask that agency that question and she didn't give me a shot, I would probably just
Sure.
be a no one, honestly. I'd just be a normal girl. So I always want to leave a mark that says, I was here, I mattered, I gave something back. That's the mark I want to leave. And again, thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you. Beautifully said, Ratil. I want to say, like, never stop from asking. Always ask. That's my message as well. Before we go and log off, I want to read some of the comments. So, someone, Elisa, is saying, "Go, Ratil, mom." And Anu is saying, "Thank you, the best message." Again, someone wants the next meeting, saying, "Ratil, when will the next meeting be?" So this is like they want to be part of the next meeting, and obviously we'll be sharing the details like we did here. And now again, someone is saying, "I'm going to start listening to you." Thank you, Ratil. I will explore the unknown. Omar is saying, "Respect." Nice, nice, nice. Thanks for making us believe in ourselves. Nice. Gulnas says, "I'm a mother. Even I motivate my daughter studying in the UK. Thank you for making us believe in ourselves." Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. It's, too many positive messages. Now I want to stop with the chat and I want to close the meeting today. Thank you, Ratil. And thank you
Thank you.
to all of you for joining us today.
I just want to say thank you to all those kind messages. I read them all, and you guys are so sweet. And hopefully, the next meeting will be soon. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I want to say keep calm, stay curious, and keep leading with your questions. Thank you, everyone who joined us. We hope you enjoyed your time and see you on our next spotlight. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.